So today I wanted to come on and share the Wisdom Keeper story from Dr. Rosy Aronsons' deck, The 64 Faces of Awakening. Right now we're in Gene Key 59. This is the shadow of dishonesty. This is the gift of intimacy, and this is the city or the divine expression of transparency. So I wanted to invite in the story today by Dr. Rosy Aronsons with a little quote from Richard Rudd. It starts off with this quote that says, "As this heart opening occurs, true intimacy is born, and two people meet within a single awareness." Programming partner is Gene Key 55, which is a really big one in the Gene Keys. There's two that are really big, 22 and 55. So here we are, programming partner of 55, which is the shadow of victimization and the gift and the city divine expression of freedom, baby. Because when you are not playing the victim, you're free from playing the victim and you experience true freedom. So here we go. My wisdom story. My parents had a strong chemistry, but their relationship was fraught with tension and conflict. My father constantly complained about being trapped. When he went out at night, my mother would bombard him with intrusive questions and throw fits when he wouldn't fess up about his latest extramarital escapade. Usually he'd go off in a huff, removing himself from family activities, but instead of sharing how excluded he felt, the whole fiasco would just repeat itself. Throughout my childhood, my parents kept so many secrets and never came clean with their hurts. I was a deep, shy, and introverted teen. Unlike my siblings, I could never figure out how to interact with the opposite sex. It all seemed so messy. So I stayed home while my siblings dated and felt excluded like my mother. Even when they invited me along or tried to set me up, I was convinced they just pitied me and didn't want me there, so I refused. As I got older, I developed friendships with men, but was never attracted to the nice ones. With someone I felt attracted to, usually a bad boy, I'd feel a surge of mistrust and shut down. Until I met a man I couldn't resist. Our sexual chemistry was so powerful, it felt spiritual. For the first time, I fantasized about marriage and children. He wasn't a bad man, and I sincerely believe he cared about me, but I couldn't control my fears or their control over me. To avoid losing him, I hid aspects of who I was and played games to keep him interested. I often doubted why he wanted to be with me, so I excluded myself from his social life and then felt rejected. Or when I felt him slipping away, I'd try to prevent him from having a social life. When he called me controlling, jealous, and dishonest, I broke up with him. It took me a long time to grieve the loss of that relationship and to feel the terror beneath the sadness and anger that I'd been carrying with me since childhood. That was the beginning of a long journey towards radical honesty with myself and in my relationships. Today, my beloved partner and I counsel couples, helping them own their fears, share their truth, open their ears and their hearts to each other without pulling or pushing away. Intimacy is my greatest teacher and my spiritual path. My gift to you. It's time to come clean with the people you love. To be truly intimate, we must be so totally honest with ourselves and be willing to accept and express our deepest fears. Understand, when you open a door to another person, you're letting go of control and opening yourself up to being influenced on a deep emotional level. If you carry wounds from the past, as most of us do, this can be really scary. Whether you fear being trapped or abandoned, do not judge your feelings. You'll be rewarded with unleashed creativity, beauty and sensuality, and the wonderful possibility of communing with another human being in one field of awareness. There's no limit to what two open hearts can do together. Question for contemplation. Is your fear of being abandoned by a romantic partner keeping you from being honest, from committing more fully? Is it causing you to over-seduce or try to control your partner? Is your fear of being trapped sabotaging a current or potential relationship? Are you often planning your escape? Do you sometimes feel excluded or exclude yourself out of fear? Are you often puzzled by the people you're attracted to? Think of a time when you were courageously transparent. How were you received? How did you feel? Journal and reflect upon your biggest relational edges when it comes to trusting others. How can you stretch yourself? There you go. When we can be really honest with ourselves, we can be honest with our feelings. And when we can be honest with our feelings, we can be informed by our feelings and ask, what do we actually want? And we can allow our environment to actually inform us of what we want. Sometimes we don't know what we want. Sometimes we have to get some space and, clear away from all these programs of other people telling us what they want of us. And sometimes we just gotta really get into a devotional space and say, this is what I want. And when I know what I want, then I can align with the like vibrations of what the universe wants of me. I think that right now we're going through this really interesting inverted matrix, especially around the coding of infidelity and our relationship with the masculine and our relationship with that embodiment of commitment. And what are we committed to? Some of us are committed to being half in and half out. Some people make whole lifestyles around not being fully committed, and we call that a half-hearted life. To live a life well lived is to put our whole heart in. Whatever we're doing, even if we're going to do something that other people think is completely crazy, if we're doing it with our whole heart, we can't lose. So let's be intimate with one another. Into me you see. So let's recognize this is a you inverse. So transparency is wearing our heart on our sleeve and being really clear about what we want, or being really transparent to say, I don't know what I want, and actually learning from that and being in that liminal stage of possibility and exploring and being open to possibility. Sending you so much love this week. Namaste.